Greetings, and in this tutorial, let's see what's new in FL Studio 12.3. We'll jump straight in with the feature you've all been waiting for. That's real-time audio stretching. Woohoo! You can now set audio clips and sampler channels to adjust pitch and play speed independent of the project tempo in real time. To stretch existing projects, we've added a new macro, switch real-time stretching for all audio clips. So let's use that. And now all the audio clips in this project stretch to maintain the correct pitch as the tempo changes.
I'm stuck on the side of the boat I rode. I've forgotten too far while still afloat. Should have been more careful with the board I chose. Got chills from the water and the waiting. Lazy or recovering. Total apathy, I'm needing time to think. It's a miracle, I still got strength to be. Fighting a line so gray.
Specifically, real-time stretching is available from the Audio Clip Settings, Time Stretching, Mode menu. Just select Stretch and you're ready to go. For example, let's look at some features unlocked by real-time stretching. Here we have a vocal.
Fighting a line so gray.
With resample selected in the settings, stretching a clip will pitch it up and down with length.
Fighting a line so
gray.
If I select Stretch, the speed slows with stretching, but the pitch remains the same.
Fighting a line so gray.
Similarly, by squeezing the clip, the speed increases, but the pitch also remains the same.
Fighting a line so gray.
Okay, cool. But we can take this a step further with the piano roll. First, I'll drag and drop a waveform on the piano roll. This is to provide a visual reference where the words start and stop. Adding a C5 note plays back at the original speed and pitch.
Fighting a line so gray.
Notice I made the note slightly longer than the length of the sample. Next, I'll add a slide note to re-pitch it. Slide notes produce a more natural transition and don't re-trigger the sample. Remember, slide length sets the pitch transition time.
Fighting a line so gray.
And you can also play or sequence chords for harmonies and special effects.
Fighting a line so gray.
By using different note colours, you can even slide the voices independently.
Fighting a line so gray.
All good. While we are using the piano roll, let's look at some workflow enhancements. First up, we've added scale highlighting. From the menu, Helpers Scale Highlighting, select a scale type and root note. Let's try F major, and the background changes so notes in scale are highlighted slightly lighter. Then to stay in key, just make sure to use only the highlighted notes. Easy. Let's change it to a blues scale. A quick tip. If you use the right mouse button when selecting options, the menus will stay open, allowing you to experiment. We've also added a few more keyboard view options, as we're often pestered about the look of keys interfering with creative workflow. Yes, really. So now we have a modern, flat, classic, and list, used when key labels are active, for example with Slice X and FPC. You can also choose to label just root notes. The selected scale highlighting determines the root, all white notes, or, for the thrill seekers, none. Next, we've moved the event target selector from up here on the menu bar to down beside the event editor itself. The target label stays visible on the editor, so you can always see what's selected without breaking your gaze from the lower panel. Brush tools. It was time to get them back into submission. Monopaint has been renamed to Paint, and we've swapped the shifted and unshifted functions. This is to match the brush tool behaviour prior to FL Studio 11, and there was much rejoicing. paint in notes and then optionally hold the Shift key to reposition the existing notes, based on proximity to the cursor. Polypaint is renamed Paint in Drum Sequencer mode and functions as before, using the default 16th note steps. The name changes are intended to better explain the purpose of the two brush tools. Finally, for the piano roll, we have 4 new keyboard shortcuts. G selects the channel above, H selects the channel above with note data, K selects the channel below, and J selects the channel below with note data. Make sure the typing keyboard to piano roll is deselected, otherwise you can use Shift with H, J, and K. Shift G is already taken by group notes. Updated plugins. Continuing our theme of vectorial interfaces, let's start with Grossbeat. Yes, it's resizable to allow easier editing of the time and volume envelopes. Plus, if you click the envelope switch, you can expand the preset buttons, perfect for touch and live performance. Fruity Limiter. Fruity Limiter also gets a makeover, expandable, with all the goodness you'd expect from this go-to Dynamics plugin. Maximus 2 has the vectorial treatment. Expanding it will make editing the compression envelopes easier. There's now a handy level guide on the peak display when you edit envelope points. The extra size will allow you to inspect frequencies in greater detail. Love Filter. Also vectorial. Notice the active articulators now show an orange mark to help you unravel patches if you haven't seen them in a while. Vectorial and expandable. Nice. Patcher also has a surprise. Courtesy of Wise Labs, there's now a slew of FX patches. Just right-click the preset selector on the top of the window. From there's lots to explore, so check it out. Finally, for the effects, ZGameEditor Visualiser has had a major overhaul. It now features up to 25 layers and tons of great new visual effects. I recommend diving into the manual for that one. And now, the one you've all been asking for, Sytrus. Besides being larger and vectorial, the interface, like Love Filter, shows the active envelopes with these markers. Shading on the matrix more clearly shows its functionality, but probably most important is that Sytrus 2 is now expandable, allowing for easier editing of envelopes and partials. The icing on the cake? We now have new presets by Nucleon and Seamless. The R is silent. On the MIDI side, we now have Receive Notes From. This allows you to set a channel to receive notes from a specific MIDI controller. Without this feature, you'll remember that the selected channel takes the input from any connected MIDI controller. Now, if you right-click a channel, you can select Receive Notes From, and then select Connected Controllers. You can even specify a MIDI channel. So if you have a controller that can split its output across several MIDI channels, then you can play keyboard splits from the controller. Notice the lock icon and orange channel selector signifies a controller is locked to the kick channel. The link controller also shows in the hint bar when you mouse over the channel. If I select the clap, the keyboard still plays the kick. You can even lock the typing keyboard to a channel. Now, above the Receive Notes From option is another new feature, MIDI Channel Through. You can use this together with Receive Notes From or independently. It's useful as it allows all MIDI channels from a controller or external sequencer to pass to the plugin. Some plugins can respond to more than one MIDI channel. For example, in SliceX, MIDI Channel 1 plays Part A and MIDI Channel 2 Part B. And others like Contact allow you to play different instruments on each of the 16 MIDI channels. Another benefit when recording, the piano roll will reflect incoming MIDI channels to separate MIDI note colors. Cool. Solo and mute locking. This applies to the channel rack, playlist and mixer. Everywhere you can find solo and mute controls. To lock a control, hold Shift and click it. I'll do that on the channel rack, playlist and mixer. Then, when I use the normal mute solo actions, the locked channels stay in their set states, either muted or active. Just Shift plus click again to unlock. Now there's also a new and related setting. In the Options, General Settings tab, Restore Previous State After Solo. When a solo command is done and then undone, Control plus left click, this option will restore the pattern of soloed and unsoloed items prior to the solo. This affects the channel rack, playlist and mixer. New plugin time. We're excited to release, with FL Studio 12.3, Transient Processor. Check the information section in this video for a link to an excellent and in-depth tutorial. But quickly for now, let me just show you some of what Transient Processor can do. I'll process the attack and then release of this drum loop. Consider this plugin your go-to dynamics processing tool. Try it everywhere you'd normally use a compressor, and more. Don't forget to check the tutorial. For those discerning customers with Razer Chroma products, including keyboards, mice, headsets, mousepads, and even laptops, we have a cool Razer Chroma effect visualization plugin. Let's check it in action. Yes, it's very bling, but it's not only for play. Select the Typing Piano option to visualize the piano keys on your external Chroma keyboard or Chroma laptop. Cool. Okay, let's head back to some more workflow enhancements. You can now type exact values for certain targets, including the mixer track selectors throughout FL Studio, and the tempo selector. Channel rack buttons have also had an overhaul. First up, you can use this handle at the top of the window to resize buttons. Or use the channel rack menu, channel button width selector, and select a preset width. Also available from the menu are sort functions including by name, color, and track number. Generators without mixer tracks, like layers, are sent to the bottom of the list. Finally, for the channel rack, there's now 3 auto resize options for the height of the window. I can choose minimum height, delete these channels and the window will collapse to the minimum height possible. Maximum height will always keep the window at maximum, and off will make sure the rack stays at the height you set, and if you deselect auto-select linked modules in the general settings, it will remain completely unmolested. ImageLine Remote, our hugely popular and free remote control app for FL Studio, available from the Apple and Google App Stores, now includes feedback from FL Studio to the application. Just open the app, select FL Studio, and make sure it's activated on the MIDI settings. Enable ImageLine Remote. And notice that when I do this, ImageLine Remote's mixer now jumps to mirror FL Studio. And now, from FL Studio, back to the app. All automatable controls now feature feedback.
Bass from your face to the floor.
Good stuff. Don't forget, you'll need to update the app from the App Store. Next, let's talk incremental scrolling. A common problem when editing close to the top of the scroll bar in the playlist, piano roll, or event editor is accidental clicks on the scroll bar can send you shooting off into some unexpected position in the editor. The result is you're lost and need to back out and find where you were. Super frustrating, particularly at high zoom levels. Now there's an option, View Incremental Scrolling. You can still click and drag the scroll handle, but now if you click on the scroll bar itself, the window will start scrolling toward that point rather than jumping directly to it. Plenty of time to say "Dope" and release before everything goes pear-shaped. Independent incremental scrolling options are available in the playlist, piano roll, and event editor. This should save a few expletives. And while we're in a scrolling mood, the one we know you've all been waiting for, continuous scrolling. This is a thing now in the playlist. Previously, it required you to hold Shift+0. Now, you can right-click the auto-scroll icon and select it. Cool. With that, I'll leave you to download and enjoy your free FL Studio 12.3 update.